When you think of it as digital gold, then it should replace gold. Gold's worth $10 trillion, and that takes Bitcoin to 500,000. But when you think of it as digital property, like replacing buildings and land and other long storeholds of wealth, then, you're up by a factor of 20 or 30 from there. I mean, it should not be... It's much better than digital gold because I can move Bitcoin at the speed of light and I can program it to 1 million transactions an hour on an iPhone or a website. You can't do that with gold. So it's got more utility than gold, which means it's probably worth 20 or 30 trillion if it just replaces the gold. The average person, the middle class person that drives an Uber or works as a dentist, they can't buy $387 worth of a building in New York City every month is their savings plan, right? A person in Africa can't buy a small share of a nice piece of property. They can't buy $127 worth of a Picasso painting. So Bitcoin offers property rights at any scale, any amount of money, anybody in the world, and you don't have to worry about, will people like Picassos? Will they still want buildings in Vegas or New York? Will some politician tax it away from me? Well, can I take it through an airport? So if you're looking for an egalitarian, utilitarian way for people to save money and protect their life force or protect their economic wealth. If I took $1 million of economic value in 100 years ago and I held it in dollars, the US dollar is expanding about 7% a year for the past 100 years. So if you do the math, you find that you lose 99% of the economic value in cash. And that's why nobody in their right mind would put $1 million of cash in a box and put a time lock on it, and in the year 2120 expect their great-grandchildren to open the box and for it to be worth anything. It'll be worth nothing. Sure. If I put $1 million of gold in a box, 100 years from now, the challenge is, will the bank or the government seize the gold? If it didn't get stolen, if you increase the gold supply by 2% a year, then you realize the half-life of money in gold, that seems the half-life of energy in a battery. You can't stop the gold miners from mining gold. So ultimately, the economic energy stored in the container of gold is dissipating at 2 to 3% a year, which means you're going to cut it in half once, twice, 3 times. Right? So you're going to be down to 12.5% of what you had, even if it doesn't get seized. Bitcoin represents digital energy. And in that way, if you think hard about it, you realize it represents digital matter too. It's the first time, it's the singularity whereby we open this portal and energy can flow into the digital realm. When Satoshi invented a way to transfer value from me to you without a trusted intermediary, I can send you $1 million, no bank involved. What you see is that everything in the digital realm before Bitcoin was non-conservative. It was digital information. I send you Beethoven's Fifth Symphony as an MP3 file. You've got it, I've still got it. And it can be redistributed 18 billion times. Sure. So you don't own it, you just have a copy. So all of those businesses, Facebook, Google, Apple, they're all based upon digital information revolution, first on the web and then on a mobile phone. And Bitcoin's big innovation was we don't just move digital information anymore, we move digital energy. It's a conservative property. I think the killer product that 8 billion people want is a simple mobile app that holds US dollars and Bitcoin. You have a currency, you have a property, it's a bank in your pocket that's completely open, permissionless, and you can trade instantly in 1 second, either in a currency or in a property with anybody on the planet, and no one can take your money away from you, and you don't have to ask permission. It would completely dematerialize the entire financial establishment, and it would empower everybody on Earth to take possession of their life force.
Everywhere in the world, Bitcoin represents freedom, money, and hope. And I think People need hope more than anything else on the planet.
If you have a world where the internet reaches anybody on Earth, and where you have a monetary network like Bitcoin that reaches, and Lightning that reaches everywhere on Earth, and if you have a technology like Zoom or like that reaches everywhere on Earth, then you can trade, you can educate, you can inspire, you can trade with, you can work for, you can employ anybody on Earth. And that allows people to reach their full potential. And then after they do it, they can have hope that they'll be able to retain their life force and their life savings